I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl.
The Bronx doesn't like J.Lo.
Two stories about Jennifer Lopez being an awful human being.
Lulu's team has officially hired bots to dispel her being a menace to waiters.
One of my favorite scams of all time. Her whole career is one long scam. She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. Like, it will literally be Ashanti or Christina Milian. Like, J.Lo didn't have time to make it to the studio. Like, J.Lo was busy. It's like, doing what? Not singing, obviously.
I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they kept ad-libs and they turned her vocals like all the way down.
Mariah, who calls herself Supergirl, says she often sleeps just 3 hours a night. When told Lopez claimed to get 8, Mariah said, quote, "If I had the luxury of not actually having to sing my own songs, I'd do that too."
Die kenne ich nicht. Ups.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about success in selling. It's not about just having a great product. It's about the business behind it. For millions of businesses, Shopify is that secret weapon. With Shopify, you get the #1 checkout system on the planet and tools like Shop Pay, which boost conversions up to 50%. Whether your customers are scrolling online or shopping in store, Shopify has you covered, even on social media. Upgrade your business today and get the same checkout we use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/Sloan. You guys know how much I love my leather bags, and I just discovered the perfect way to keep them pristine, Curé. The leather care kit is a game changer. Think about it. We maintain our shoes, cars, and even our skin, so why not treat leather the same way? Curé not only protects and preserves your leather goods, but also helps them retain value if you decide to resell. With overconsumption being a huge issue today, Curé ensures that your leather lasts for years. Supplies are limited, so head to MyCuré to grab your kit today. That's MyCurE.com, the best way to make your leather goods last forever. Guys, the holidays are here and it's time to step up your grooming game with Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. This is an all-in-one grooming kit that has everything you need, from the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra for smoothing and trimming to the Weed Whacker 2.0 for taming rogue nose and ear hairs. Nobody wants that. And don't forget the Crop Soother, the Crop Preserver, and everything else to keep you fresh this season. Plus, it comes with holiday extras, premium boxers, and a toiletry bag. Join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code Sloan at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code Sloan at manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. Welcome back to the Let's Get Into It podcast. Today we are doing the most comprehensive deep dive into Jennifer Lopez that I think probably ever existed on this platform. Jennifer Lopez is known as a global icon, a pop culture powerhouse, and if you dig a little bit deeper, one of Hollywood's most controversial figures. In this episode, we are going through her scandals, her feuds, the betrayals, but we're also going to go to the beginning, where she came from. How did Jennifer Lopez become the person who she is today? She tries to play out that she's a Bronx girl with big dreams who made it to Hollywood, but the answer might not be as squeaky clean as she'd have you believe. From her early days in Hollywood to her notorious relationship with Diddy, we're diving into the drama that surrounded their romance, including that infamous nightclub shooting and the fallout that J.Lo had to protect her image, and kind of like this new wave of fallout that she's going through right now. Let's not forget about her history of stealing the spotlight, literally, from allegations of vocal theft from artists like Ashanti and Christina Milian to her infamous diva behavior on set and beyond. Jennifer has built a career on more than just talent, but at what cost? I mean, I know that she's a great actress, and I think we can acknowledge that, but there's also a lot of moments of her work being inauthentic and not even her own voice. We'll also talk about her coincidental ignorance of other celebrities, the messy moments she's had on and off screen, and of course her relationship with Ben Affleck, which started 2 decades before they got together again, and that played out in such a messy way, so we can't forget it. We're gonna go into every single detail, so let's get into it. Jennifer Lopez was born in July 1969 in the Bronx, New York. She started to show a passion for performing at a young age. She took dance lessons throughout her childhood and began her career as a dancer, making her television debut as a fly girl on the sketch comedy series In Living Color back in 1991. Now, a lot of people could say that Diddy is responsible for Jennifer's career, and I don't think that's fully true, because maybe for her music career, but her start really came when she played Selena. Jennifer's portrayal of Selena Quintanilla in the 1997 biopic Selena marked a watershed moment in her career, propelling her from a talented dancer and supporting actress to a big-time movie star. There were actually 21,000 people who were trying to play Selena in that role, so Jenny really made her mark by going in there and getting that role. So you can't doubt that she's a talented actress. To prepare for her role as Selena, Jennifer Lopez went to great lengths, even sleeping in Selena's bed and spending time with her family to absorb every nuance of the star. Here's a clip of Jennifer talking a little bit about how much that role meant to her.
I approached it from the point of actually learning to sing like her and the style she did, what she actually really liked to sing and what she really got off on. You throw all those ingredients in the pot and boom, you know, then you have people saying, wow, this is so much like her. They say you look like her, when in reality I'm sitting right here in front of you and you know I don't look anything like her. It wasn't about that. It was about being like her and being her. I had a great time wearing all those costumes.
The success of Selena opened doors for J.Lo in both film and music. She launched her music career in 1999 with her album On the Six, which sold over 10 million copies. This really solidified Jennifer's place in Hollywood because not only is she an actress, but now she's a musician. She can sing. Well, at least she can play pretend. And I want to say this off the bat. I don't think that J.Lo can't sing. I don't think that at all. I think that she's used other people's vocals in the past and not given them fair credit. And maybe that's the doing of other people like Diddy and producers, but nonetheless, she's rubbed people the wrong way. Granted, she's done a lot for the Latin community, and I don't want to discount that she's beloved in a lot of aspects, though she's really in a downhill slope right now. And I want to start off this video by talking a little bit about something that I think is kind of funny, and it's her feud with Mariah Carey. In the late 1990s and the early 2000s, Jennifer Lopez was rising to fame. She found herself inadvertently caught in the crossfire of Mariah Carey and Tommy Mulatto's divorce because Mariah Carey was trying to leave her husband, Tommy, and he had control over her music career and the music industry. When she left him, she started to work on her own, but he wanted to find someone that he could take over and try to push her out the field. And the person that he used happened to be Jennifer Lopez. To give you guys some context, Tommy played a crucial role in launching Mariah's career. As the chairman of Sony Music, he signed Mariah to the label after hearing her demo tape and immediately recognized her talent. However, the relationship between Tommy and Mariah became complicated when they married in 1993. Tommy was known for being controlling, both professionally and personally. We've talked about this before, but Mariah Carey was held captive. There were people who were hired to watch her every move, cameras and alarms, and she really had no free will. So Tommy wanted to use J.Lo to overshadow Mariah. There's one song, Lover Boy, from Mariah's film Glitter, in which Tommy allegedly instructed producers to create a similar song for J.Lo to use. And of course, Mariah Carey wasn't happy about this news. Mariah wrote in her memoir, after hearing my new song using the same sample I used, Sony rushed to make a single for another female entertainer, J.Lo. By that, Mariah was talking about J.Lo's song I'm Real, which sampled Firecracker, and came out just before her album Loverboy. This led to Mariah having to lead with a different single because J.Lo put out a song that sounded just like hers, and she didn't want to sound like she was copying her, but J.Lo was in fact copying Mariah. Things got a bit worse and even more obvious when Mariah had recently worked on an exciting collab with Ja Rule, who Tommy also convinced to do a song with J.Lo. J.Lo's song I'm Real enlisted Ja Rule. Mariah was forced to change the song sample and bring in another rapper for her own mix, choosing Da Brat. Here is a little bit of a reading of an excerpt of Mariah Carey's book talking about this situation, which really prompted the feud between her and J.Lo.
Then there was the sabotage. After hearing my new song using the same sample I used, Sony rushed to make a single for another female entertainer on their label, whom I don't know. They used the Firecracker sample and released it before Loverboy. Ja Rule and I wrote a song together too, and next thing you know, Tommy was calling up his manager, Irv Gotti, asking him and Ja to collaborate on a duet for the same female entertainer's record, leaving me to scurry and remake the song. Irv has even discussed it since in an interview on Jesus and Mero. He knows we just did this shit with Mariah, and he's trying to f with Mariah. This was sabotage, plain and simple.
Now, Mariah Carey isn't the only person who acknowledged that Tommy and J.Lo were scheming. Music producer and record executive Irv Gotti said in the docuseries The Murder Inc. story that Tommy hired him to make a song that would make Mariah Carey angry. Clearly, Tommy was trying to hurt Mariah and put out music through J.Lo to beat her to the punch. Here's a little clip of him speaking about this moment and his part in it all.
I'm talking about time we told.
Yeah, get out of it.
And he calls me because he found out me and Rule made a record with Mariah Carey. And at the time, he hated Mariah Carey. So he was pumping Jennifer Lopez to compete. So he calls me 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what's up, Tom? What the f***? Oh, he says, Irv, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's up? I need you to make a record with J.Lo, but I want you to put Ja Rule on it and make it a duet kind of a record. So immediately when he says that, I'm like, this. He knows we just did this shit with Mariah, which was a duety record, and he's trying to f Mariah.
Now, this feud between J.Lo and Mariah has led to speculation about whether J.Lo was aware of the sabotage that was happening at the time. Some fans believe that J.Lo must have known about the tension because she's just being prompted to do all these things by Tommy, the record exec. I mean, she must know there was a different M.O.
Und was ist mit J.Lo?
Die kenne ich nicht.
Oops.
Now, I want to talk about Diddy because he's a crucial part of J.Lo's rise. Let's talk about what really drives success in selling. Sure, it starts with a great product, but the secret to scaling your business lies in the tools that power it. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Whether you're a startup or an established brand, Shopify provides you everything you need to sell smarter and grow faster. Take it from me, Shopify offers the #1 checkout system on the planet, and their secret weapon, it's Shop Pay, which boosts conversions up to 50%. That means fewer abandoned carts and more happy customers. Plus, Shopify is built to meet your customers wherever they are, online, in store, or even on social media. It's a platform designed for growth, giving you the tools to expand and thrive. Whether you're selling coffee, cosmetics, or custom merch, Shopify makes it easy to scale your businesses and keep the sales rolling in. It's no wonder brands like Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty and Death Wish Coffee rely on Shopify to power their success. Upgrade your business today and get the same checkout we use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/Sloan. Don't wait, your business deserves the best. If you know me, you know I have a serious appreciation for my leather bags and accessories. Keeping them in pristine condition is a priority, which is why I'm thrilled to have discovered Curé. This leather care kit is a complete game changer. Think about it. You clean and maintain your shoes, your car, and even your skin, so why wouldn't you treat your leather the same way? Leather is an investment, and Curé ensures it lasts a lifetime. Not only does Curé keep your leather looking amazing, but it also preserves its value. So if you ever need to resell your leather bags, jackets, or shoes, Curé keeps them in top condition so you can get the best price possible. And in today's world where overconsumption is a huge issue, taking care of things we already own is as important as ever. Curé helps you make sustainable choices by extending the life of your leather goods. I've been using Curé on my collection and the results are incredible. My bags look like they've just come out of the store. Trust me, this is a must-have for anyone who loves their leather as much as I do. Supplies are limited, so don't wait. Head to mycuré to grab your kit today. That's mycuré.com, the best way to make your leather goods last forever. J.Lo and Diddy were once one of Hollywood's hottest A-list couples. The pair started dating after meeting on the set of J.Lo's If You Had My Love music video in 1999. Diddy and his on and off again partner Kim Porter called it quits earlier that year. Diddy saw an opportunity with Jennifer and he definitely seized the moment, even though she was a married woman.
Puffy Combs and Jennifer Lopez, probably one of the most glamorous couples just in history.
They understood each other. They were both famous, both busy. So he probably didn't have to explain a lot to her.
You know, she's one of the most beautiful people in the world, and I'm a pretty nice guy myself.
Now, when Jennifer Lopez and Diddy split in 2001, her explanation was that Diddy wasn't faithful to her, which, surprise, surprise, you're dating Diddy. And I believe Jennifer when she says that he was unfaithful, but I think it's a BS excuse when he tries to say that he was just in love with Kim Porter, and that's why he couldn't be with Jennifer, because now we know what he was up to at this time. I don't think he could really love anything.
Jennifer, she's definitely a bad chick, but I was still in love with Kim, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't marry Jennifer if I was still in love with Kim.
J.Lo said, I never caught him cheating, but I just knew. He said he was going to a club for a couple hours, then he'd never come back that night. I had to think, do I want to be home with kids in 10 years wondering where someone is at 3 a.m? Well, good thing you thought that then, because he was out there harming children. Ugh. Though they eventually became friendly with one another after their split, J.Lo spoke about past abusive relationships in her 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. It's unclear which ex she was referring to, saying, quote, there were people in my life who said, I love you, then didn't do things that were kind of in line with the word love. Being thrown around and manhandled like that is not fun. Sounds like she's talking about Diddy. Quote, I mean, I never was in a relationship where I got beat up, thank God, but I've definitely been manhandled and a couple of other unsavory things, rough and disrespectful. She said, I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, going nuts. It really took my whole life into a tailspin. I never caught him cheating, but I just knew. So I feel like she has a much darker story when it comes to him, and maybe in some way she was an accomplice.
Cared very deeply for Sean, and you know, we just didn't have the same kind of ideals about life and family and stuff like that, and just wasn't a good relationship for me. I had to learn to care about myself a little bit more and put up certain boundaries of what I would accept and wouldn't accept.
Maybe if she warned us back then, we could have avoided a lot more devastation. But I mean, I'm not going to put that on J.Lo because there were so many other people involved. During her on and off again relationship with Diddy from 1999 through 2001, they were one of the most famous couples in the world, making waves at the 2000 Grammys and other events. But they also became the focus of unwelcomed headlines and a New York PD investigation where they were arrested while fleeing the nightclub after the shooting, which left 3 people injured and ended up deporting someone. I mean, I can't believe that J.Lo was a part of this. This scandal makes J.Lo look a lot less innocent. Over the years, J.Lo has stayed pretty tight-lipped about her relationship with Diddy, especially that night in December 1999. Though she brought it up in the year 2000 while being interviewed by British Elle, saying the shooting was a complete nightmare. I was scared to death in the car. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. No one did. But I don't believe that J.Lo didn't know what was going on because she supposedly brought the weapon in her purse for Diddy. Victims of this case have asked for it to be reopened, and now that Diddy has been held behind bars, I think they're going to take a better look at what happened that night. Natiana was a victim of this shooting. She had a bullet in her face, which she did survive, but she had to undergo surgery, and I think she would have to go through another surgery. She claimed that I literally watched Diddy and them pull out guns. I had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur, and I have described it to all parties involved. I have 9 bullet fragments remaining in my face. She continued, who better to tell you what happened than the person who got smack dab shot between my eyes? Which props to her for being able to survive that. I mean, that's intense. According to reports, what happened was there was a gunfight that started when Diddy bumped into a man named Scar while leaving the nightclub. A drink was knocked over from, I guess, Scar's hand, and he responded by pushing back, leading to gunfire and this woman being shot in her face and 2 others injured. J.Lo and Diddy and his entourage fled the club in a Lincoln Navigator whose driver led police on a chase through Manhattan. The chase ended with officers finding a stolen gun inside the vehicle and arresting J.Lo, Diddy, and his bodyguard.
Around 11 p.m., Sean and Jennifer headed out to Club New York in Manhattan for a night of partying. Their entourage included newly signed rapper Jamal Shine Barrow and Puffy's bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones. According to court documents, Combs traded insults inside the club with a man named Scar. The man allegedly threw money in Puffy's face. Suddenly, a fight broke out and gunshots were fired.
J.Lo spent more than 12 hours in police custody. I feel like this was probably a wake-up call for her. Like, I don't think I want to be around this guy anymore. J.Lo was reportedly handcuffed to a pole at one point. Prosecutors ultimately dropped the charges against J.Lo, but charged Diddy and his accomplice with 2 counts of criminal possession of a gun and attempted bribery.
According to police records, Sean Combs and his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez left the scene of the shooting. They were arrested a short time later when a handgun was recovered from their vehicle. J.Lo was released based on an evaluation of the evidence, but Puffy faced charges.
Now you can tell Jennifer's going through it. I mean, let's take a moment for this mugshot. I mean, how messed up could she be? It makes me question if she was on some kind of drugs this night. Now, this woman who has 9 bullet fragments in her head and wants to get surgery paid for by Diddy to go and fix it may reopen this case and drag J.Lo back into it, but I have a feeling that Diddy's going to drag J.Lo into a lot of his cases. Ultimately, this rapper Shine was the man who took the fault for this nightclub shooting, and he was ultimately deported after serving his time in jail. They blamed it all on this guy Shine when Diddy in fact did this, and J.Lo carried the firearm into the club and passed him the gun when he got into the altercation, so she really was a big part of it. Bonnie and Clyde vibes. Now, with all this information resurfacing, J.Lo is getting more backlash because she has been so quiet about the whole Diddy situation. She obviously saw something and has been to plenty of white parties, but she said nothing. Not to skip stories, but Cassie was harmed by Diddy. Of course, we know this, and some people speculate that Cassie was kind of a replacement of J.Lo, and that he kind of took out his anger on Cassie because he just was so mad that J.Lo left him and was in a place of power where he didn't have this control that he's had for so many years on so many different people. It is interesting when we see where Cassie's point is on everything and how she's been outspoken, and J.Lo's not even lending support to Cassie or praising her or anything, let alone speaking about Diddy.
When he met Cassie in 2005, he apparently became obsessed with her because she favored a young J.Lo. And there's a lot of speculation that at least part of the reason why Diddy treated Cassie the way he did was because she looked like J.Lo. And Diddy finally found someone he could have complete control over. Since Diddy couldn't publicly humiliate and destroy one woman who left him, he found another, put her in the same position, and broke her to satisfy himself.
And it's not like J.Lo saw a different Diddy. Like, J.Lo did not date a different Diddy. He was still into his bad behavior, and he even had moments where he flipped out on her. Even when cameras were rolling, we caught it because she had a scene with, I think, Matthew McConaughey where they had to kiss. And of course, Diddy did not like the idea of his woman kissing another man, yet at the same time, he's like R-wording 13-year-olds. The movie was The Wedding Planner, and it was a basic kiss for a rom-com. But Diddy wasn't having it.
You're here. Being angry at each other very much.
What y'all shooting today?
The last scene.
Oh, that's hot. What's the last scene consist of? Of what? Ain't no kissing going on, right?
Yeah, he has a problem with stuff like that.
I mean, this is probably set up for the television show, let's be real.
There better not be no kissing going on.
Not like a kiss like with tongue.
Nah.
It's not like a kiss, it's like a last moment in a thing. It's not like we kiss all the time.
Yeah, at the same time, he's like having freak-offs with many other people. Now, J.Lo has revealed in other instances how Diddy was controlling. She's just not been outspoken recently, which, I mean, girl, if there was a time to be outspoken, it's right now. But she has alluded to Diddy controlling her music in the past, which is something she wasn't too fond of.
Well, he did say one thing to me that was pretty funny. Yeah. I remember I had recorded this. It was for my first album. I was recording music. I was recording a song, and I played it for him later after I did it. And I was like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "I hate it." Wow. He's like, "It's not good. It's not a hit." And I was like, "Well, I love it." Standing up for my music and for myself. I was like, "I love it." He goes, "Good. You could listen to it in your living room. You're the only one."
Wow.
Maybe because Diddy did not like her music, he decided to take control, and she ultimately allowed it. The holidays are here and it's time to bring your grooming A-game. Enter Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the ultimate all-in-one grooming kit that has you covered from head to, well, everywhere else. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the star of this package. It's precise, smooth, and ready to tackle your holiday grooming needs, whether you're getting ready for a date, a family gathering, or an office party. But that's not all, because the Performance Package also includes the Weed Whacker 2.0, which takes care of those pesky nose and ear hairs. Ew, nobody wants awkward hair situations at a dinner table, right? Manscaped even thought about the post-shave care with the Crop Super. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, the package comes with 2 incredible bonuses: the Boxers 2.0 Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 Toiletry Pack. These extras make sure you're always ready to jingle and mingle. With over 11 million men worldwide trusting Manscaped, it's time to join the club. Get 20% off and free shipping with code Sloan at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code Sloan at manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. Let's get into how she has stolen music from other artists. I mean, this headline's not looking good. How Jennifer Lopez shamelessly steals from black artists. Back to when I told you guys about Tommy and Mariah feuding and J.Lo getting involved. Well, Tommy found out that Mariah was making a song with Ja Rule, so he asked for the producer to create the same sound for J.Lo.
Mariah, who calls herself Supergirl, says she often sleeps just 3 hours a night. When told Lopez claimed to get 8, Mariah said, quote, "If I had the luxury of not actually having to sing my own songs, I'd do that too."
The song was originally Ashanti's, who is an incredibly talented artist, and it kind of remained her song because of how many vocals were left in. Ashanti's demo vocals were kept in the final version, including taking over the chorus and recording ad-libs for the track. Ashanti received credit for her background vocals, but not as a co-writer. Because Ashanti's sound and lyrics were such a hit for J.Lo, Ashanti went on to write and sing another song for J.Lo called Ain't It Funny. I don't think Ashanti wanted to do this, but she was being pressured by record execs to do it because they wanted to take down Mariah and they felt like J.Lo had a better chance. Ashanti has spoken out about Jennifer Lopez, explaining in 2014 that she wrote the track Ain't It Funny. She demoed it for the record for her before she was signed to Murdered Inc. They kept my hook and some of the backgrounds and the ad-lib and stuff like that. It was bittersweet because I was really excited that it was J.Lo, but I was so mad not being able to record it for myself.
Song for her, and I also referenced I'm Real for her, and they left my background vocals on the record.
And people, they say, you know, are you the ghost voice for, have you heard that?
Yes, I heard that. But, I mean, I referenced the record for her, which is, you know, done a lot in the music industry, and they left my background vocals on.
Now, Jenny from the Block is definitely J.Lo's trademark song, and we can't imagine it being anyone else's song. But when it comes to J.Lo, this isn't the case. This song was curated to boost the singer's street cred and featured Jadakiss and Styles P. The voice on the single belonged to Natasha Ramos and was used after she demoed the track for J.Lo. Natasha does have a very similar voice to J.Lo's, so if we never heard the original version, then you probably wouldn't have realized. Because this song helped make J.Lo who she is, it's really bizarre and upsetting to fans to see that a lot of the vocals used in the track was actually someone entirely different. Natasha explained, "I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they kept my laugh in, they kept my ad-libs, they turned her vocals like all the way down, and From the Bronx part is me." We have a TikTok of her explaining this, and here it is.
I was on more, I was on 4 other songs. I was on I'm Glad, The One, Loving You, Baby I Heart You, and Jenny from the Block. I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they cut my laugh, and they kept ad-libs, and they turned her vocals like all the way down, and the From the Bronx part is me.
Now, if you don't believe in Natasha yet, which I don't think you guys are doubting her, here's a clip of her singing for herself.
Be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the Block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. From the Bronx!
And yes, that is definitely me saying From the Bronx.
Of course, people had plenty of reactions on social media. This person commented, "You weren't a background singer, you are the vocalist." Another person wrote, "Really upset that you're a server now and you sang the song that blew her up. I hate it here." Another person wrote, "Who sings in J.Lo's live concerts?" Natasha actually replied and explained that if it's a live performance, they just play the background vocals, so it's her voice. Natasha has been struggling to make ends meet as a server, so seeing J.Lo skyrocket and to hear her voice constantly on the radio must be upsetting. Ride or Die is a song that J.Lo put out, but it was written by Brandy. The track was intended for Brandy's album Aphrodisiac. J.Lo ended up taking her song for her album Rebirth, but she didn't have the time to go and record the song which is crazy. So most of the vocals are actually Brandy's. Christina Milian is another artist who J.Lo has used her work. Play was the second single from J.Lo's 2000s album. The single wasn't extremely memorable, but it charted at number 18. Yet most of the song wasn't sung by J.Lo. Christina co-wrote and sang most of it. You can hear her vocals all over the track, but most notably in the chorus, which J.Lo barely sings a note. Christina does get credit for the background vocals, but being that she wrote the song and sung most of it, you would think she'd get more recognition. So there's been this long-standing notion that J.Lo doesn't sing her own songs and she steals from other artists. I mean, we have the examples to prove it. Actually, the SNL star Ayo said on her podcast that J.Lo's been doing this for some time, essentially calling J.Lo's career a scam, which is a pretty big move as an SNL star. I feel like you could get in trouble, but I mean, what else do you call it when they're putting out music that's not their own?
Today I was actually thinking about one of my favorite scams of all time. Her whole career is one long scam. She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. Like, it will literally be Ashanti or Christina Milian or like another girl who sounds like her. Like, it's other people.
But is she collecting the royalties?
Yes.
I love it.
That's a scam.
And here are some other songs that J.Lo has used ghost singers on. If You Had My Love is one of J.Lo's signature songs, but the chorus was sung by Shawnette Harrell. Shawnette vocals are mixed with J.Lo, so we can't blame J.Lo too much, but it's sad to see another artist stolen from. Here's a clip of Shawnette talking a little bit about that experience and what went down.
First album came out, and Rodney Jerkins actually came and wrote this wonderful song for me called If I Gave Love. And you know, the Jennifer Lopez song was If You Had My Love. He wrote the same song for her. I heard that it was because Puff Daddy walked in and heard my song and said, I want that song. And he was like, yeah, well, that's already taken. You know, we wrote that for Shantae and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, I want that song. So Rodney wrote really the same song. Honestly, if you hear my song, it's the same song.
Oh,
Mine says,
man.
if you had my love and baby that gave me, if you had my trust, would you use it against me? Hers, I don't know. Can't even remember because it's so close, I can't even sing it right now. If you had my love and I yeah, same song. But we should have been aggressive instead of backing off our single, because that was going to be my next single after Shantae's Got a Man. And we backed off of it because J.Lo had such a machine at the time. We should have just stepped out.
J.Lo had such a machine at the time. Well, you can blame Tommy and Sony for that one. All I Have is another song from J.Lo's album, This Is Me Then. And it was a massive hit, but it turns out the chorus was sang by Deborah Laws. Unlike other artists, Deborah was unaware that J.Lo used her music and actually took her to court over this. Unfortunately, her case was dismissed, and I accredit that to the power of Sony. Get It Right is definitely a fan favorite from J.Lo due to its catchy chorus. Get It Right was originally recorded as Ride for Usher's album Confessions. After the song failed to make the album, they passed it off to J.Lo as an apology. Usher wasn't too happy about this move because he never gave permission to give up this song, so he was upset. He went as far as to demand the publishing rights for everything that she did with it. Now, the song Love Don't Cost a Thing is one of J.Lo's biggest singles. This song is rumored to be about J.Lo's ex Diddy and the lavish gifts that he bought her. It is said that the song is the reason for their breakup. J.Lo would go on to marry Chris Judd, who is one of the backup dancers in the music video. There is no background singer listed for the track, so it's hard to say whose vocals is on it, but there is a rumor that Canella Cox is actually the person responsible, which is almost insane that they couldn't just edit J.Lo a little bit more. They had to literally get someone different for each song. If you are unaware of Canella, here is a clip of her vocals. In another song, J.Lo was accused of using Gloria Estefan's vocals. I don't even know whose vocals this is stolen from. I think that she almost got permission to take this old song and remake it and just literally kept the old original vocals. You guys all know this song, Waiting for Tonight. Here's J.Lo's version. Now, beyond her relationship with Diddy and her stealing music, her behavior has gotten her in trouble. In 2003, J.Lo faced significant media scrutiny that led to her being labeled as rude. Her highly publicized relationship with Ben Affleck attracted intense media attraction, with displays of PDA that seemed excessive. J.Lo also starred in the movie Giggly alongside Ben, which failed. Nobody liked it. Reports of her being difficult to work with and having excessive demands contributed to her diva image. Based on various reports and rumors over the years, J.Lo has faced accusations of demanding behavior. Such demands include all-white dressing rooms, specific brands of water bottle, and elaborate floral arrangements. There have also been allegations of her being rude and dismissive towards staff members, including assistants and makeup artists. Here's a clip from a podcast where a dancer claims that she had an interaction with J.Lo during an audition time where, auditions are tough. They take a long time. It's exhausting, but J.Lo wasn't friendly or forgiving.
Jennifer Lopez held an audition for dancers for one of her tours. Most of the time, a dance audition, you're not getting paid. You've been there since 10 a.m. and you're auditioning until 6 p.m.
Well, it's like stand-up, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not getting paid. Yeah, exactly. You don't get any money.
I love working for free.
Yes, people judging you the whole time. She walks in the room and she said, thank you so much. You guys have worked so hard. By a show of hands, if there are any Virgos in the room, can you just raise your hand? So a bunch of Virgos raised their hand.
And she shot them on sight.
Shot them on sight. Savannah, Georgia.
What did she do? Did they have to leave?
She whispered to her assistant. No. She looked at them and she said, thank you so much for coming.
Get out of here!
Could you guys imagine being in a professional setting, having someone ask you your zodiac sign and then leave the room because of that? I mean, I would be that person. I mean, I know I'm a Sagittarius, but I'd be like, wait, why? How do you even calculate that? I mean, what if people just don't even know what that means and you're just going to kick them out because of it? It's very weird behavior. And there's a lot of these instances and examples going viral on TikTok of people having terrible interactions with this woman.
2 stories about Jennifer Lopez being an awful human being. So number one, when she has drivers, the number one rule she has for them is they can't look at her, they can't talk to her, and her luggage is never allowed to touch the ground. If any of those things happen, she will go out of her way to make sure you get fired. And I know this because my dad worked for that driving company, and he refused to drive her whenever she came in town because of how awful she treated the drivers. Second story, she was with Ben, I believe at MGM or whichever casino, and Ben's a great tipper and he respects service workers, and so he tipped a lot of people a lot of money that night. Jennifer goes around to each of those people and takes back the tip and gives them maybe $5-10, maybe. She is an awful person.
I'm always an over tipper. I can't imagine going back and then taking back money when you have billions and millions of dollars. Music, and she thinks it's unfair to share the stage with Shakira, who is undeniably so talented, admitting that she thought it was the worst idea in the world. Really? That's the worst idea you have? We've now learned that Jennifer was frustrated with the organizers for giving her and Shakira the same amount of time, saying that she somehow deserves more than what Shakira has, which I think is pretty... I mean, she needs to be humbled. So I'm glad the NFL humbled her.
We have to have our singing moments. It's not going to be a dance review. Right. So, like, we have to sing our message. This was the worst idea in the world to have 2 people do the Super Bowl. It was the worst idea.
A lot of fans reacted accordingly, saying that J.Lo was entitled, that she had an attitude. This person tweeted, "This is so ridiculous. Shakira is the bigger star. Jennifer just doesn't know this or pretends not to." Both artists shared promotional photos for their performances, and you guys can note that in Shakira's picture, they have both J.Lo and Shakira featured, and in J.Lo's picture, she's bitter and did not include Shakira at all. Again, trying to make it seem like it's solo performance. No, J.Lo, you're not getting your solo performance. I actually went to her movie premiere, the This Is Me Now, where she had a bunch of music videos and things like that, and Ben and J.Lo were actually there, so I was in the same room as them. In the moment, I didn't realize how big of a flop it was going to be, but it was major. I mean, to the point where it destroyed her relationship. In one scene, Jennifer is posing in the mirror of her personal gym as she shakes out her hair and reminisces about her childhood in the Bronx, saying, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me of when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block, just this crazy girl who used to be wild with no limits, all dreams." And it all sounds good on paper, but it also it reads really phony because we know this isn't who J.Lo is.
Like taking my hair out like this, it reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl who used to be wild and
No limits, all dreams and
Live here. I used to live here. Huh? My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I used to live and my room was upstairs right there.
She still got her beauty, her booty, and her bank account, so bye boy to him. Bobby, this isn't about me and you. Bobby, take that out.
No, this is what...
That is not part of the script.
The level of delusion is just next level. Fans began to unearth more unsavory revelations in old interviews. One from Vogue in 2022, Jennifer was asked about her upbringing in the Bronx, and she revealed what her order was, which is ham and cheese on a roll with the orange drink. If you know, you know. But of course, TikTok did not know. We did not know this one, J.Lo. I think it's so funny how people trolled her and it blew up. It also led to more viral moments of J.Lo going to the home where she was raised and people just not knowing who she is. So is she really Jenny from the block if the block has no idea who you are?
The Bronx doesn't like J.Lo. And growing up here, I always heard people call her a sellout. Now, I'm indifferent to J.Lo, but I can kind of see why. Because anytime she mentions or comes to the Bronx, it's to sell something. She came to Bay Plaza to promote this last film. She did that free concert at Chocha to promote her AKA album. And allegedly, when her middle school Holy Cross asked her for a donation to build a basketball court because the kids were playing basketball on the street, she said no. Allegedly, her Catholic high school, Preston, also reached out for donations and she said no. And so from what I've seen growing up is that people feel like she only talks about the Bronx when she has to make money off of it. And that's fine, but the bigger problem is that she doesn't give back to the community that she benefits from. And it comes across as very gimmicky. And you know what really makes it worse? Is that she talks about being from the block, being from the Bronx, but then when she went to visit her home, the new owner didn't even know who she was. I just can't believe her team let her release that. And what makes it even more worse is that people from her neighborhood in Castle Hill actually have called her out in the past. Now maybe she does silently donate or gives back in other ways. We'll never know, and I actually don't think it matters if she tells us at this point, because that stereotype has been cemented and I think it's far too late for her to make it better.
This person wrote, she completely misread the room with her documentary. This person wrote the whole 3-part project. We didn't need an album, a visual, and a documentary about the visual. I also think the documentary exposed Ben's discomfort with putting their private moments out for public consumption. Her need to share it was more important than his feelings.
Jen was really inspired by this experience, which is how artists do their work. They get inspired, their personal life, it moves you. I know as a writer, a director, like I certainly do the same things. But things that are private, I had always felt, are sacred and special because, in part, they're private. So this was something of an adjustment for me.
Oh, thanks for calling. Amber, this is my concern. Like it feels too much like you're trying to prove something instead of just living it.
I think you guys all get the gist that this documentary resulted in backlash. It just made it seem like J.Lo was trying so hard to be someone who she clearly is not. Since the documentary has been released, many creators have claimed to get copyright strikes or reported for their negative videos about the documentary, which furthered the J.Lo hate. I have a throwback TikTok from Kyle, who used to be on TikTok until she unfortunately passed away. She will be missed, and she spoke a lot about J.Lo. Actually, a lot of people had rumors about her passing and J.Lo, and I'm not even going to go there because there's no room for speculation here. She can rest in peace, but here, I mean, her receipts live on. The work that she did was chef's kiss. Like, she was excellent. She is so missed, and here is a throwback TikTok that she made.
I have a problem, and that is that J.Lo copyright claimed all of us, myself included, got my account banned. I think that was it, because she didn't like the fact that we were using clips from her narcissistic venture, her cosplay of an Eras Tour film. I don't know what the that is, to point out all of the lies and narcissistic attributes that, you know, she has. So a lot of your favorite creators might be gone because of that.
There's something really sketchy when it comes to J.Lo that it makes me like kind of want to take a step back maybe after this podcast episode.
J. Lulu's team has officially hired bots to dispel her being a menace to waiters, all of that. Well, I work at the restaurant where I had dinner today. She was very regal. I had the honor of presenting her salad. This is some name. Another name. Well, I work at the restaurant where I had dinner today. She was very regal. I had the honor of preparing her salad.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some more of her shady moments, maybe a little bit more lighthearted. Here are a few where she was with Andy Cohen and Jennifer's just being Jennifer.
Vegas for one night and could only see one show, would you rather see Mariah or Britney?
Oh, we already know.
Britney, because she dances.
For your Vegas
Britney
show
because she
premiere,
dances.
Yes.
You saw Britney's show. You saw Shania. You saw Celine. You saw Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, he's asking about Mariah because we know she doesn't like Mariah.
No Mariah.
I'll tell you
And
why.
during the Billboard Music Awards, you were caught texting during Mariah's performance.
That's it.
She was caught texting during Mariah's performance because she could care less. Also, we always get copyrighted by Andy Cohen, so.
Jay-Z's new streaming service?
No, I did not.
He's got this new streaming service, and artists are
Look at her just trying to move on.
Artists.
Okay.
You think you would want to be a piece of that? If you look. She says that she could tell there was a divaness coming out of J.Lo very early, as the women very much complained about her behavior. She was getting, bad looks, side eyes from them about a lot of things.
If you had to say what your type
I mean,
of man
it's been a
was,
theme.
Okay.
what would you say your type is?
As far as like type-wise, like look and everything, I'm not like a looks person. I don't know if you noticed over the years.
Oh, interesting. I mean, well, Ben Affleck always looks miserable. So, I mean, she likes the miserable look.
This is the OG right here. Before Kim Kardashian, before Nicki Minaj, before Beyonce, you like the original great ass.
There's only one Coca-Cola, baby.
On that note, I want to hear what you guys think about Jennifer Lopez in the comments below. We have much more content on my main channel, Sloan. Make sure you guys go and rate this if you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're not, if you can go spend like 2 seconds and go to the episode and rate it, it really helps the channel and the show. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye, guys.